We have another case of an artist who has allegedly scammed a creator. So the creator in question is Snowy Saber, going by the same Twitter handle, and I will just be calling them Snowy. And on November 13th at around 5:45 a.m. in the morning, they write, "Am I crazy for getting mad at an artist that made my model completely different in the ref sheet, then two, ghosting me for 2 weeks over and over between I'll Start Now since September. I paid $50 for this nonsense and had to request something else than a ref." Lume writes, "No, you're not. If it's through VGen, you could maybe ask the admins for solutions on it. I would be mad as well." And Snowy writes, "Unfortunately, it's not. It's through a bank app that cannot refund me." About 30 minutes later, Snowy made this post, writing, "Didn't want to make this, but I genuinely feel like I've been scammed. I paid Mikatsuro, I hope I'm reading that right, September 16th, $50 for a reference sheet. That day, they said they would sketch it tomorrow, the 17th. They let me know they have the money 2 days later with no sketch." When I read this, at first I was really confused. So I think Snowy is referring to they let me know they received Snowy's $50 2 days later, but did not provide a sketch. The 24th, I ask if there's any updates. A day after that, they said they will sketch it in a few hours. Days go by and there's no sketch. I get a DM from them saying they lost everything and couldn't reach out to anyone. I don't know how that happens, but I apologize for what happened. So here are the DMs between Snowy and Mimi. So Mimi says, "I should be able to pick it up tomorrow morning. I will let you know when I receive it," referring to the money. And Snowy says, "Of course. Do you send work in progresses? I'd like to approve of the sketch beforehand." And Mimi says, "Of course." Snowy says, "Awesome, heart, heart." And Mimi says, "I will start sketching tomorrow." And Snowy says, "Okay, can't wait." And then on September 18th, Mimi says, "Hi, received it, thanks." Now, 6 days go by, almost a week, and then Snowy says, "Hi, any updates?" And then a full week later, after receiving the money, Mimi says, "Hi, I'm taking class now. I will be sending the sketch in a few hours." And Snowy says, "Okay." Now, on the 2 days later, Snowy says, "Hello." 3 days later, on October 1st, Snowy says, "Is my commission being worked on?" Then a week later, on October 6th, Snowy says, "Hi, if I do not get a response by the 16th, I will be issuing a refund through Western Union. I'm not sure what happened, but I hope everything is okay." And Friday, October 11th, Mimi reaches out saying, "Hello, I'm really sorry I couldn't reply earlier. It was really impossible to reach out to you or any other client of mine. I lost all my progress of your commission and others too. I was very depressed about it and had to wait until I get a new device for drawing now. I finally logged in my account again and I will be starting a commission again. So please send the reference again and I'll be starting on it. Again, I'm really sorry for that stress I caused." So if there is a scenario that somehow they lost access to their account for X amount of time, that definitely sucks, right? And if it is true they somehow lost all their work in progresses, that feels really, really bad. I've had times where like accidentally deleted an art file or something or whatever, and it freaking sucked. Like one time I had a bug with my keyboard, so it permanently pressed delete, and then I actually clicked on a couple files and it just yeeted all of them, and I was really pissed. Snowy continues, "I sent her all the files again and let her know again I wanted to see the sketch before she moves on to line art and color. No answer for days, so I want a refund. I was promised sketch day after day with nothing. I couldn't refund through Western Union because she already picked up the money, so I asked her to send it back. Claims she's broke and can't send it, it's against her TOS. Nowhere on her account was the TOS pinned or anything. So with push and shove, I get an update, and it's ... completely different. There is no attention to detail. She went on to finish it with no approval from me when I asked multiple times for the sketch. So I waited a month for half a finished art that doesn't look anything like my model." And this is their Twitter account, by the way, Mikatsuru, who goes by the name Mimi. Again, don't send hate to them, by the way. But I am looking, and they do have a card linked. So then I go to the card. It has Twitter, YouTube, their email, illustration emotes, ref sheet. So they have example ref sheets. I definitely agree. It's see anything regarding TOS anywhere. So it's definitely a little bit different if you commission somebody like personally versus commissioning them on a platform, specifically for comms like VGen. But I feel like a TOS situation goes both ways, right? If you have a TOS and your condition is that if you agree to commission me, you're bound to the TOS, you do need to tell the other person that, you know, like, "Hey, by the way, before you commission me, just make sure you read the TOS, give me a verbal confirmation you read it, and then we're good to go, okay?" You don't do that, then turning around and doing a 180 and being like, "Hey, by the way, this thing is in my TOS." And it's also, again, you know, if Snowy did their due diligence, dug through your account, didn't find a TOS anywhere, I feel like it's not fair to hold them to a TOS that is not publicly available or easy to find and that you didn't tell them. That's at least me. Again, there's always scenarios that maybe you do have a TOS, you forgot to tell them, right? But I feel like if that was the case, then more understanding should come from your side also. So let's look at the attached photos. So again, this is the reference that Snowy sent, and Snowy says, "I'd love to see the sketch before you line and color so I can double check everything is right, if that's okay." Again, Snowy had already asked this before, so this was Snowy's second time asking for the sketch, and the first time Mimi already agreed. And then on October 19th, Snowy says, "Hey," and this is now a month after Mimi received and took the money, "Can I have an ETA on when my commission will be finished or at least started?" Now, 4 days later, Snowy says, "I would really like some communication with my commission. I've waited over a month now with no sketch or update. I understand you lost the file, but you recently uploaded a new art you did, so how did you not lose that or have the time to do that? I unfortunately cannot get a refund through Western Union because you received the money. If you are unable to complete it, please transfer the money back through Western Union. By the way, again, Western Union is a bank transfer. So it's not the same as PayPal or something like that, where you do it through a third party that then deposits it into the account of the third party platform, right? Bank transfer. It goes from Snowy's bank into Mimi's bank, and then you can't get it back. This is the whole side thing. If you're an artist, if you're doing comms, whatever, accepting money through a bank transfer, from my understanding, doesn't have a fee, but it is also risky because then there is no third party to mediate. Sometimes going through PayPal with those PayPal fees is fair because we've heard the horror stories of PayPal chargebacks, but it's because you have a middleman that can facilitate disputes for you. With Western Union, there is no middleman. It's just you into their bank account. So I'm not trying to say this is Snowy's fault, by the way. Like this scam should not have happened in the first place. But this is for everybody else in the future. Those of you guys that are artists that are taking commissions, just keep that in mind because once they withdraw the money, it's gone. And Mimi says, sadly, I can't. I'm too broke to send any payment, nor that isn't in my terms of service. Would you mind taking your time and sending me all the things that need to be fixed? Again, a reference of a TOS that is not physically available on your page or any link I can find on their page or anything that was DM'd to Snowy. Mimi says, I already drew and colored the other sides, but I will send them today at a later time. And Snowy says, that's what I asked you not to do multiple times. I wanted to see the sketch before you moved on because you got a lot of the design wrong and you don't have a TOS anyway. For commissions, unless it's a skeb, if you are not an artist, what a skeb is a commission with no updates sent. You pay the artist for a commission and for whatever you're looking for. So an illustration, a ref sheet, whatever, and the artist will just give it to you. They will not send you a sketch. They will not send you a flat color. You give them the money, you tell them what you want, and they just give you the final product. So you eliminate all of the middle steps. So it makes it cheaper, but it's also kind of RNG because you know the quality you can expect from their previous work, but you really wouldn't know like how anything looks like till you get it. This is not a skep. This is a regular commission. And in regular commissions, updates should be sent at stages so the person commissioning can, double check how things look, right? When I do commissions for people, which I rarely do, I will ask for your ideas. I will send the sketch and then I will send the line art and then I will send the flat colors and then I will send the final render with an option for minor changes. Because there's a saying, right? Measure twice, cut once. And it's so much easier if you send updates at every stage that if there are changes that need to be made, then the other person can tell you and you can make the changes quickly. It's a lot easier to change a sketch than it is to change a final product, which is what Snowy is looking for here, right? Snowy's saying they want to see a sketch to make sure they get everything correct. And especially with a ref sheet, that's why accuracy is actually really important in ref sheets. And it's a lot more important than for anything else, just like a regular illustration. Who cares if you got like one or two things minorly incorrect in the regular illustration? It's not a big deal. But a ref sheet is something that other people will then use to go and make sure they're drawing your character correctly. So if the ref sheet is wrong, then all other artwork made referencing that sheet will also be wrong. And now let's take a look at this ref sheet. So the character on the right is Snowy's character, right? And the one on the left is the one that Mimi sent. The colors are correct for most things, but there's a lot that's wrong. So Snowy's model has a hair flip. It's not present. The ear shape is wrong. The ears are a lot taller than Snowy's model. Snowy's model has one gold earring on the right ear. On the ref sheet, they gave them 2 gold earrings. Snowy's model also has 2 more hair clips, a star hair clip and like 2 barrettes, and neither hair clip is present. The bangs are also wrong. The bangs are like low and intersecting into the eye here. It is not the case for this. Snowy has fangs. The ref sheet doesn't have fangs. Snowy has a side ponytail with a bow. The ponytail is completely missing on the model. The hair is also longer than Snowy's model's hair is. A lot of the hair on Snowy's model ends like mid upper arm, right? A lot of the shorter pieces end mid upper arm, and this model just doesn't have that. The reference sheet does not have it like that. It just has it as one really long ponytail. The body stripes are wrong, right? Snowy's model has it in a very S shape here, and then it's very straight on the stomach. Also, the upper body tats are completely missing. Snowy's model again has more white markings on the upper body, and it's literally just not present on this other model. The clothing is also wrong. The top is wrong. When you see the spaghetti straps onto the bustier that it's wearing, there's little bows here. The little bows are missing. There's like crisscross ribbon detailing on the bustier, and it's missing again. Snowy's model also wears a gold belt with a little pokeball, a little dragon charm, and a key charm, and that entire thing is missing. I would say the bow size is also incorrect here too. The bow on the hair is really small, where on Snowy's model is much bigger. And the leg markings are also incorrect. Snowy's model has a lot of white, especially at the very upper thigh. None of that is present here. Fur on the boots are also wrong, right? Snowy's model, the fur is like very upward spiked. It's very large. It's really small on the this design. The shoelaces are the wrong color, and the shoe design is also incorrect too. And then see Snowy's model, there's claws coming out of the shoe in the very front. There's no claws present. Again, the reason why I'm pointing all of these out, okay, is again, sometimes like small mistakes do happen, and this is why you send the sketch first, so then you don't have to change it way far down the line. This just shows a really big, in my opinion, lack of attention to detail, because you could argue, okay, maybe getting the hair wrong, okay, like that was just a misunderstanding of how the hair is gonna fall on the shoulders, but completely omitting the ponytail, completely omitting other aspects like the claws on the feet or the chain on the waist and the markings on the upper body, that's a lot of stuff to omit. Pretty key to the character design, in my opinion. So Snowy continues, I then asked if we can change it to an illustration because I wasn't going to go back and forth for months on changing details one by one. We agreed to a half body illustration. A couple days later, she posts emergency comms for a full body for $49. I'm guessing Snowy's frustration here is that Snowy paid $50 for a half body. So a full body is more art than a half body, but yet Mimi is offering commissions for a full body for cheaper than what Snowy was agreeing to, which would feel really bad. Snowy continues, she tells me on the 26th she will start sketching that day. A couple days pass with nothing, so I ask again and finally got a sketch. She told me she'd continue it the next day. A week has passed with no other updates. I'm sick and tired of spending quite a large amount of money for me and not getting any communication or even a finished drawing in months. I would not do business with them nor trust any artist who isn't using VGen or PayPal. I hate making this type of post, but never in my life have I had such a difficult commission like this with an artist. And as an artist myself, I always communicate, no matter what I'm going through, because it's real money you're dealing with. Do not send any kind of hate or harassment either. Posting this for awareness. So here are some communications from Snowy about the updated half body, being like, would a pose like this work? If not, I can find something else. And October 26th, Mimi says, yep, it's so cool. I will start sketching now. And then the sketch was then sent 5-6 days later. And then Mimi says, I did my best to keep it looking like the pose you wanted. Snowy says, cute. And Mimi says, yay, glad you like it. I will keep working on it tomorrow. It's too late now. Gotta go sleep. Good night. 7 days later, no updates again, and Snowy is asking for updates. The timeline that we see here is a lot shorter than we've seen for other alleged scam comms, right? But in my opinion, like, they left Snowy ghosted for so long. There was just so many instances where they ghosted Snowy, a client. Then they took the money and then was like, hey, by the way, I'm broke. So yeah, they technically delivered it wasn't a rough sheet, right? They delivered one art piece for the rough sheet, and it was done without an attention to detail. And then when they agreed to something else, they again ghosted. It's just such a large lack of communication on the part of the artist. And again, I feel like a scenario like this would be solved so much easier with communication. If you took on the comm and then you don't have the means to do it, just be like, hey, sorry, I did agree to this, but I don't really have the capacity to complete it. I'm just gonna refund you. I'm so sorry. Just finish it on time. Or just communicate, if something's happening, hey, I'm so sorry, I have this happening in my life right now. I truly apologize. Like, can you give me 3 more weeks and then I'll finish it for you? I think that the biggest thing is just they kept agreeing that they could do it. They were like, yeah, I'll give it to you today. Don't say things if you don't mean it. Don't agree to a timeline if you can't do the timeline. So here's what some commenters had to say. Totally Tiro writes, no artist will ever request you to pay through Western Union, but also don't trust anyone over Twitter unless they have a big following or have big portfolio to back them up. Try using VGen instead for art comms. It's much safer. Also, I think the art you were given is AI. And Snowy says, I don't think it's AI since she has a lot of artwork and past comms. And I will say, to me, it's not AI. Mimi has a lot of art that you can look at, and the style is really consistent. It's not an AI style as well to me. Bombueno says, there was really no need for a call-out post. It's clear the artist has very bad time management, but you could have just sorted this out via DMs and left it. Complaining you've lost so much money when $50 for a rough sheet, or in the final case, a half body is a steal. And Snowy says, yeah, so if you read the thread, they ghosted me weeks at a time through messages. I've tried multiple times to sort this out with them in DMs. I've also had other people reach out to me with the exact same issue with this artist. And to me, $50 is a lot because I get paid monthly from SSI. So don't say it like that. And Bomb says, you're completely in your right to be annoyed given their work ethic. I am in no way trying to take that away from you. Realistically, if you saw the illustration is going nowhere, get back in contact with them and push for a refund. I had a look and can see no TOS for them. And Snowy says, there is absolutely no way I can refund through the banking app and they will not send me my money back because they're broke. So by the way, first thing, okay, $50 for a ref sheet is cheap in the industry. Again, you don't know people's finances, right? And arguing like, oh, it's just X amount of money, so you should let it go. I feel like that in a way is a pretty privileged thing to say, right? Like $50 for you may not be a lot, but for other people like Snowy, it is a fair amount of money. If you do the math, the federal minimum wage is $7.25 per hour. So if somebody is working at the federal minimum wage, it is almost 7 hours of labor for them to earn 50 USD. That is, again, pre-tax, not counting other things like bills, whatever, right? 7 hours of labor. I would feel pretty bad if I worked for 7 hours and then I lost all of that money. And again, Snowy says they get paid monthly from SSI. SSI's maximum payment in 2024 is $943 if you're an individual. So again, we have to count for a lot of things: car payment, car insurance, rents, health insurance, etc., food, groceries, other miscellaneous. When you whittle it down, like living on $940 something a month is really difficult. Even like no matter where you're living in the US, that is not a lot of money. $50 for Snowy, yeah, is a lot of money. I've been in at points in my life where $50 was a lot. So I don't like the sentiment, oh, it's just 50, like you should just give it up. And again, I don't know why some people are so mean. We have Third Shock writing, why the fuck are you still engaging with this train wreck for weeks on end? And better yet, why engage with them in the first place if they had zero TOS? Cut your losses and move on. Stop wasting each other's times. My God, what a shit show, painful to read. I feel like a lot of times nowadays, people lack a lot of empathy, you know? Like Mimi has an extensive amount of artwork they've done, right? You have all this art example. Other people have commissioned them. If you see a creator, you like their artwork, they have a long history of doing art. I can completely understand, you know, you want to commission them. Maybe the lack of TOS wasn't a red flag to you because it was like, oh, you know, like shit, a lot of people have calmed them. It's totally fine. And then of course, Snowy still has to engage with Mimi because they don't have their money because they paid through Western Union. They don't have access to their money anymore. I really don't like the whole victim blaming. Like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have. Look, man, if we all had this mentality, then none of us would have gotten scammed, right? I'm sure every single one of y'all at some point in your life has gotten scammed. I have, right? One time I bought a pair of Yeezys from somebody on Macari for $300 when I was in high school, and they turned out to be fake, okay, because I got scammed. And it happens to us. I personally just don't like the whole like holier than thou. Oh, you should have known better because I'm so smart. I would have never gotten scammed. It's coming for you. Just wait. But other people have also had their experiences with this artist as well. We have Ego writing, I had some issues with them. I never publicized it because it wasn't worth it. This is the third case I've seen with people who have trouble with them. I keep giving them the benefit of the doubt, but I just don't think they have the maturity or responsibility to handle client work. And Snowy says, that's a shame. I wanted to support since it was emergency comms, but unfortunately hindsight is 2020. I was very patient with them and also gave them the benefit of doubt. And Akari Rini says, I have a similar situation with them. I could share in DMs if you'd like. I got an email com from them that went badly. And Snowy says, apparently a lot of people have had issues with them, which is so upsetting. I'm sorry this happened to you too. Angie says, had issues too. I got my ref sheet at the end and a lot of detail was missing, so I ended up not posting it at all. And Snowy says, I'm so sorry. I wasn't gonna let it slide personally because damn, I'm paying $50. Pay attention. Shock the System 12 writes, I originally was going to commission them for a ref sheet a long time ago, but decided against it when they spammed my DMs afterwards, being a bit impatient. Glad I didn't go through with it. Tina the Terror writes, I feel like what they provided you, while it does lack a lot of features and details, is about $50 worth. That said, the dragging that on for weeks and weeks, well over to a month with little to no communication unless you ask is crazy. I dislike the whole my TOS treat me like a business when they don't act professionally is absurd. I will say, again, like I've said, $50 for a ref sheet is cheap in the industry. But the thing is, a reference sheet is a reference sheet. It is a blueprint that other artists will reference to make artwork of your model. There is a level of quality, in my opinion, that needs to be in a ref sheet. So if you are advertising a ref sheet, price your artwork accordingly. That's at least my thoughts, right? The attention to detail in a ref sheet is much more important than, in my opinion, other artwork, like emotes, right? They're really small, so if you miss a hair clip, no one's even gonna see it. Or even like a little illustration, a little cheapy. It's okay if you miss a detail or two. It's not the end of the world. But again, other artists will reference the ref sheet to make art of you. So if the ref sheet is incorrect, the other artwork they're gonna make is incorrect. Your ref sheet will not serve the purpose it should serve if the art is wrong, which is why I think it's completely fair in terms of this situation of it being a ref sheet to expect this level of quality for it just to be done correctly. And if you order a burger from In-N-Out, but they completely left out the lettuce and the tomatoes and only gave you meat between two buns, you'll feel some type of way because that wasn't what you ordered, you know? Queenwucy says, gonna say sorry you have to deal with this artist. I tried warning people months ago due to a lot of people having problems with this artist and also scamming people from their raffles just to gain followers. Noxomium says, I had a similar issue with them as well. They took months to finally deliver my commission after telling me they would deliver on a certain date, only for the art to not be what I wanted and completely change the art. Sky Eternal says, I kind of had the same issue, but mine is technically complete, even though it looks very rushed, like missing earrings in expressions, different eye style, and where the hairpin was going. Honestly, they should have slowed down a bit. I still have another reference sheet that I paid for. Mika says, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I commissioned them like you for the ref sheet on the 17th of September. So literally the day after Snowy, right? Snowy commissioned on the 16th, I believe, and then Mimi got the money on the 18th. And I've literally had zero updates. Also had no idea about the files being deleted, nor have they contacted me since the 3rd of November. So we have another person with their experience with Mimi. Concerned Dino, who goes by the handle Mrs. Dino Monster, writes, "Oh, okay, so it's not just me then. I have also been unhappy with how long I've been waiting for my comm, but I thought it was my fault since I said I was in no rush. I'll post our DMs and you can draw your own conclusions. But I don't know. I've just been feeling frustrated with this." So this communication started Thursday, August. So Dino writes, "I would love to comm you for a ref sheet." Mimi says, "Hi, yeah, I can take your request. Please send me the character you want me to draw. I'm drawing other comms right now, but I should be able to start yours next Monday. Is that okay with you?" Dino says that's fine with me. So the character is my avatar online persona, and I've never had any art of her done before. Would it be okay to send you some inspo pics and descriptions and work from there? No worries about time, I'm not in any rush. And Dino says, of course. Feel free to use pics of your character reference and write descriptions of it. So Dino writes, long, big, messy light brown hair, small, yellow nubby horns, medium complexion, yellow gold eyes, oversized green dino hoodie with spikes, huge green tail, a little chubby squishy. It's supposed to be me, but not exactly me, if that makes sense. Pictures will come after this message and are selfies of me to give a body type, complexion examples. And 3 character inspos. Toru from Kobayashi Dragon Maid, Maho from Steins Gate, and Satomi Sensei from Madoka Magica. Mimi says it's okay with me, but I must tell you that I take charge for designing characters starting at $20. Dino says that's fine. And then over a week later, or almost 2 weeks later, 11 days later, on August 15th, Dino says, hey, just want to check in. I know you're probably super busy with life and comms. And Mimi says, yep, I'm available. Dino says, I sent you some info about the comm, wondering how it's going. And Mimi says, this is your OC, right? Referencing the Madoka Magica character. Dino says, no, that's a character from Madoka Magica. I like your design though and sent it for inspo. And Mimi says, I'm not really understand how this should look like, it a little complicated. And so Mimi says, let me try to get this. The first pic should be the hair reference. The second pic is the dragon design with the tail and horns. The last one is the outfit, right? And Dino says, yep, that's right. Just a few different things. I would like big curly hairs, smaller nub horns, and then an outfit similar to the third one. I also like the light brown, the color of her hair. My name is Dino, so I wanted a big dinosaur hoodie. Then I sent selfies because it's supposed to be me, but a little different. I'm sorry I wasn't clear. And Mimi says, oh, I get it now. Thanks for explaining. I've been struggling through imagining it at first. Now, since I already took your request, can you please move to payment so I can get started? And Dino says, yes, how do you prefer payment? And Mimi says, yay. And by the way, my PayPal account isn't available right now. Can you please send me the payment by? And it's cropped off, so I don't know what method was used. And Dino says, thank you so much for being patient with me and taking my request. Please let me know if you need any other clarifications. I'm more than happy to explain. So they seem really nice in communicating right now. Mimi says, yay, thank you so much for choosing me as your artist. I'll be able to pick it up tomorrow, referring to the money, I'm guessing. I will let you know once I do that. And Dino says, okay. And Mimi says, also, I'll be starting the sketch tonight. So this is the same type of communication as Snowy, right? Hey, I'll be able to pick up the money tomorrow, but I'll start the sketch tonight. And then Dino says, I'm going to resend the details and pictures so you don't have to scroll too much to find them again. I hope that's helpful. So on August 20th, Dino says, hey, just checking in because I'm super excited. I know you hurt your hand though, so I understand. Take it easy and I look forward to seeing something when you have it. And a day later on the 21st, Mimi says, thank you for caring about my injury. I should be able to draw, but it will hurt if I overwork it. August 30th, Dino says, hello, just wanted to check in with you. I saw your tweet. I'm happy to hear your surgery went well. 2 weeks later on September 14th, Mimi says, I'm already done with the body base and now adding a character design on it. I'm really sorry it took so much time. I think it's interesting again because Mimi said they're sketching, but the sketch was never sent. Dino's being super kind, stating, no, you're totally cool. I understand with your other comms and surgery situation. I'm excited to hear you are starting on it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm up late for me right now. It's 1:24 a.m. for me. I'm in the PST time zone and will be more than happy to answer. Now, over 2 more weeks later, almost 3 weeks later, Dino says, just checking in, hope everything's okay. And this is October something. I don't know what date this is. It's cropped off. I think it might be the 11th. Mimi says, hello, I'm really sorry I couldn't reply earlier. It was really impossible to reach out to you or any other client of mine. I lost all my progress and was really depressed and had to wait to get a new device of drawing. Wait, this looks like exactly what Mimi sent Snowy. Wait, oh, it's the same copy pasta on October 11th that they sent Snowy. I mean, it could be true that they like lost contact to their account, right? It could be possible. And Mimi says, never mind, I already saved your comm reference in my Google Drive. And Dino says, thank you for the update. And that's good news about the drive. Now on October 27th, Dino says, how are things going? On the 31st, Dino says, do you have any questions or need anything? I don't want to be rude, but I paid in tip way back on August 15th and still haven't gotten a sketch. Wow, on the 15th with the tip. So yeah, we are 2.5 months out now. And Mimi says, hi. And I finally sent the sketch over. And Mimi says, I thought I told you before that I lost all my old process art and I started it again. That's as I couldn't update you. But don't worry, I managed to finish lots of my work and your sketch too. I just got a bit distracted. That's what I thought I sent it already. And Dino says, thank you. Seeing a sketch really helped me put me at ease. I do have some points I'd like to mention again if that's all right. I like the horns to be smaller and more nub shaped. 2, I like her hair to be curly. 3, I want her to be wearing an oversized dino hoodie. 4, with small ridges going down her tail as well. 5, I forgot to mention before, but I would like her to have glasses. Wait, oh! I mean, maybe there was some misunderstanding here, but I felt like Dino was pretty clear. The nub horns, the curly hair, the dino hoodie, what was pictured in the sketch at all. So Dino continues, sorry if that's a lot. I just want to mention these things again while you're still sketching, so hopefully making these changes is easier. I can send pictures if you need more clarification as well. Thank you again for taking my call and bearing with me. Dino says, again, make your own conclusions, but it's just been frustrating from a client perspective to go weeks without any update. And then the updates you do see are more delays, and then they open up for more comms while you haven't even seen your sketch yet. And I feel like we've seen this happen over and over and over and over again, right? With artists who will take commissions, not finish the commissions, and then open up more commissions. It feels bad for everybody that commissioned them who didn't get their art, because you're like, wait, I haven't even received my art yet. What do you mean you're opening up more comms? And then to also get updates, but then the updates are not complete. It's like a little sketch just to shut you up. You don't see any like full progress happening. That's really frustrating. And then Mimi has also gone on to make their own statements as well. Remember Nox, who made their statement stating to any friends and mutuals, don't calm this person. I had a bad experience with them and didn't want to say anything. And because it was only $20, I didn't think it was worth it. Then Mimi made their own post, the artist, writing, I know this is the best way to get attention, but please be careful of what you say. This person received their full body illustration that I hosted a year ago and now claimed he didn't receive anything and that I was scamming him, ... So these are the DMs, something, and then Mimi says something mistake, when here's a picture of the art, and then Mimi says, ta-da, should I add the glasses? And Nox says, no, it looks fine. Nox then said, LMAO, you clearly didn't read what I said, but don't worry, I also got screenshots. Nox never said that they didn't receive their art. They didn't say they were scammed. Nox just said they had a bad experience, but it was only $20, so that they didn't want to talk about it. And then remember Queenwucy, who wrote, I don't like saying I told people so, but I literally tried to warn about this artist and nobody really cared. Or when they did see what I said, they just kind of brush it off because they had raffles going on. I've seen issues from others with this artist where they literally either gave up and tried to get their comms and didn't get their refund, or the artist themselves started to ghost them until they made a tweet about them and then the artist tried to give them their comm quickly. I've said this before, but I noticed how much they didn't go through with their raffles and with all the commissions they take, in that they either never get done or get half-assed. Again, I warn people, if you don't want to be scammed away over a year on a simple art piece, probably best not to work with this artist. They make all these promises and never keep their word and start ghosting you. This is probably the 7th person I've seen speak out on it. Mimi says this person literally just popped up and asked for a sketch, then coloring, and did not pay and disappear. Warning people of some you haven't even worked with, and I could tell use them only for a free sketch is just a waste. So here are some DMs where the person says, oh, okay, I need to sleep for work, but I'll be up in a good 6 hours. I'll see it then. And Mimi says, hi, and it's a sketch, right? It's not completed or colored in any way. In my opinion, this screenshot doesn't prove what Mimi is stating it should prove, right? Mimi is like, this person popped up and asked for a sketch and color and didn't pay and disappear. Okay, so we have a screenshot of Mimi giving a half-colored sketch, but we don't have proof of anything else, right? Because there's this arrow here in the screenshot, which means there's more text down below that's getting cropped off. So I don't know what this more text is. Is there proof of communication and asking for payment and then Queen just ghosting you? We don't see that in this screenshot. So to me, this doesn't really substantiate what Mimi is saying. And especially I personally, as of what I've seen with the posts made, have a little bit of a hard time believing Mimi right now, because they also had made this post stated something completely wrong, right? Again, in this post, Mimi was accusing Nox of saying that he never received the art, which is not true. That's not what Nox said. So I have a feeling there's probably more to this that we don't see as well. And then as a quote retweet to Mimi's post, we have another creator talking about their experience. So they go by the handle Sakura ENVT, who goes by Saku. They write, this will become a thread because I have more to say and my own experience to include, but Mimi has responded to others saying they were scammed with issues she had with them. What about me then? I've been patient. I've been so kind. I haven't gotten a single update. There's probably a better way of doing this thread, but I'm kind of a noob at using Twitter. Anyway, I tried to comment in August, forgot about it, then tried again in September. Sent the references, the money, which my fault, I was already skeptical about it since it was through MoneyGram. Oh no, another non-PayPal, non-third-party platform. It kind of sounds like this is the MO, right? That PayPal will be conveniently broken, so then they would use other platforms. So here are the DMs on August to Mimi. Saku says, hello, I saw your post about your ref sheet comms being open. I'd love to comm you for one. I don't get paid till tomorrow though. Would it be okay if I could pay then? Oh, and that is assuming if you still have spots open. I meant to ask first rather than just assuming. On the 3rd, Mimi says, yep, I can take your request. Please send me the character you want me to draw. I'm drawing other comms right now, but I should be able to start yours next Monday. Is that okay with you? That is also exactly what they sent Dino, because remember Dino also requested a comm in August and also got a response August 3rd. And on September 18th, Saku says, hi Mimi, I had completely forgotten that I tried commissioning you for a reference sheet like a month ago and just saw your post about emergency comms for them and was wondering if you were still accepting ref sheet comms because I would love to commission you if you're accepting. The day later on the 19th, Mimi says, hi, yes, I totally forgot too. Yes, of course, I will accept doing it. Saku says, I should have known not to send it since I told myself not to trust anybody outside of VGen or PayPal, but my mama is on Twitter and worked amazingly with me, so I wanted to give Mimi benefit of the doubt. Anyway, after sending the money on September 20th, she said she got it on the 25th. After she had confirmed she got the money, I had just gotten an update from my mama with my eyes, so I sent it to her for a better reference. reference. Did not get anything, message on the 8th, replied to me on the 11th with the exact same message that Snowy got below. Saku says, "Hi Mimi, I'm still in no rush, but was wondering if there were any updates on my comm. If you're busy, I completely understand, just thought I'd try reaching out." And on the 11th, this is the same copy pasta message that was sent to Snowy, the same copy pasta message that Mimi used. And Saku says, "I am an incredibly patient person and would never fault anyone for taking too long with my comms. Shit happens and I believe in letting people put themselves first. Hell, I wouldn't have brought this up in the first place if I never saw that people are having the same issue. But with everyone else's issues, my kindness is being taken advantage of. Snowy Saber's post has made me realize I won't get my money back. I haven't even gotten a response after reaching out again after seeing when Mimi posts about more comms available here. With this post on October 31st stating that they are open for full body illustrations for $49. Is it just me? I just think it could be a little spiteful. I'm trying not to be cynical here, but like $49 is a very random number to use for payment. Normally it's easy to work in flat numbers, right? And numbers like 50, 20, 25. 49 is oddly specific. Interestingly, $1 less than the ref sheet comms that they owed a bunch of people. Saku says, and then just like I mentioned, I didn't even realize Snowy Saber was talking about Mimi. So when I saw her post, I thought to reach out again because in the end, I haven't even gotten one update and it doesn't look like I will be." So on October 31st, so as you can see, Saku had DM'd, of course, girly, I've been through your situation and it's definitely no fun. On October 31st, Sakura says, "Hi Mimi, just wanted to reach out to see if there's an update on this. Saw you had opened more reference slots and full body comms, so it made me curious." Saku is being so nice and respectful here. 2 weeks later, so today, right, on November 13th, Saku says, "Hey Mimi, was still looking for that update." Being very nice, very polite, nothing mean, accusatory in any way, and completely ghosted. Saku says, "You can even see that I was patient and understanding after I reset my references again. $50 might not be the most for some, but it doesn't validate lack of communication. There's so many talented artists in here, but it's people like this that ruin their chances at business. Anyway, that's my TED Talk. My official model reveal will be put off longer now." And here are a few things on how Mimi feels, right? Screechy writes, and Screechy later got blocked, "Lol, don't blame them for your horrible communication skills. Your job is keeping in contact and to listen to what the customer is requesting, which you struggle to do both." And Mimi says, "Let's be honest. Since I have a huge file that were deleted, I got a bit depressed before starting again. Imagine your whole sketches got deleted. Just a really bad experience." And the thing is, I can completely agree, right? If you're an artist, if you're working on something and your work gets deleted, it feels really bad. I've had that happen to myself with my stupid keyboard that got bugged with the delete key, and then I deleted a bunch of my stuff and I was really annoyed. I think it's two things, right? One, if that happens, you can communicate, yes, right? It's okay if you need a little bit just to like recover, feel a little better. But again, with some of these people, some of these commissioners, it's been a month now that they haven't received their stuff. It was October 11th that they allegedly was able to recover their stuff, get back access to their devices, etc. So you've had over a month now to make art for these people that you owed art to. And also the other thing is this ghosting behavior that they've showed occurred before they lost access to their devices. They were ghosting people even in like August. So I again want to be sympathetic towards, unfortunate life circumstances happening, but this is a behavior, the ghosting and stuff, that was exhibited prior to the deletion of sketches. There is a little bit sus for the lack of TOS. And again, this just to me seems like another example of a creator who wasn't able to take on the amount of commissions they were offering, got really overwhelmed, and then absolutely panicked as a result. And then also not to forget kind of slightly subpar quality of the delivery of work, with a ref sheet, which is again pretty important to get stuff correct, missing a lot of key details on it. So again, what are your thoughts about this? I feel so sorry for all of the creators who have been affected due to this artist, right? I feel so bad for Snowy, for Saku, for Dino, and like everybody who paid and then got something that they weren't looking for. It contained incorrect things or didn't receive their artwork at all, right? That absolutely sucks. And the best things, again, to stay safe, guys, okay, always go through a middleman, right? Like VGen or PayPal, something that you can refund. Have an invoice that you've used so that you have a proof of this like agreed upon exchange of goods and services so that you do have some legal ground when fighting this dispute. And again, I don't want to hear any narrative of people faulting Snowy or these other people for commissioning this artist, right? It's always the most kind-hearted people that get taken advantage of. Like a lot of these creators were creators that saw an artist was struggling, opening up emergency commissions for ref sheets because they were broke and they needed to scrounge around some money. They wanted to be generous, they wanted to help, so they commissioned them and either didn't get anything or got something incorrect back. So it's always the nicest people that get affected, which is the worst. I don't want to hear any blaming the people that are commissioning artists, okay? So a couple more updates came out after I filmed, so I just wanted to tack that into the end of the video. So we're back in VTuber mode. But Snowy wrote, "Some of y'all are actually so annoying. It's not the fact I have to wait, it's the fact I was promised updates and then get ghosted right after a, quote, 'I'm working on it now,' end quote text. And stop with the price, bruh. Y'all acting like I'm the one who priced her her art. If she wants to sell it for $50, shit, I'm gonna commission because it's in my price range. If art is $10 or $80, you should still be communicating and putting effort into it. I undersell myself as an artist and I do all those things. There's no excuse. By the way, two things I really want to point out, right? Like, Snowy as the commissioner is completely right to be upset that this artist did not give them the communication they were expecting. If they're told, hey, I'm about to work on it, and then you don't hear anything for 2 weeks, something's up, you know? If you don't have the means to work in it right away, and I think that's what Snowy is upset about here, right? Snowy seems like a very reasonable person where if you told them, hey, by the way, like, a little busy right now, I'll give you an update in a week, I'm sure they would have been okay with it. But to be told, hey, I'm gonna work it out right now, and then to get absolutely ghosted is a whole separate thing. The price thing, I again want to emphasize $50 may be nothing to you. In that case, I'm really glad that you're balling like that, but $50 is a lot to many people. And again, if you're pricing a service, no matter what you charge for it, right? You're pricing for a service. So the person is going to expect to get the service. And again, like I said with a ref sheet, it is important to get it correct because the whole point of a ref sheet is for people to reference it to make artwork. And then Snowy added a final update on November 14th. I got the finished commission. I really like it, but it doesn't take away the fact all of this happened and multiple people had the same issue. I won't be talking about the situation any further since it's resolved. Thank you guys for the support. And we have people like Liger writing, glad you got it. Sucks that it seems to be the exact way to deal with this particular artist. Taking it to Twitter and then suddenly your commission is completed. And Calypsy VT writes, I'm glad this was resolved. I'm sorry about it. I know the anxieties of art comps. Your model is so cute. And again, that's the thing, right? With these artists, a lot of times we've seen that there is absolutely no response until you go on Twitter and then all of a sudden they turn over your commission in like a day or two. It's not just artists, Twitch too, bro. Like VTubers will get banned for very, very minor things and they will stay banned until they go on Twitter and talk about it. And then all of a sudden, oh, whoopsies, we made a mistake. We're gonna redo or undo the ban. And Mimi made some posts as well. So on the morning of November 14th, Mimi made this. I never thought I needed to make a post like this, but I really want to clear up some things. I've been pouring myself into a commission for a client and focused every moment into making it the best it could be. My energy went into working hard rather than keeping up with messages, which in hindsight was a mistake I'll learn from. I wasn't ghosting or anything. I was just deeply committed to making sure the piece came out right. I know my art skills aren't the best, but I'm trying to improve myself. Then something happened that I never expected. I got all my data in my PC deleted along with all my progress and photos, all the hours of work on the comms. I'm devastated. Losing work like this isn't just losing a file, it's losing a piece of the heart and dedication I put into it. I immediately started working on recovering everything, but it set me back to square one. Yesterday, I saw that client posted about the situation on Twitter, calling me a scammer. Since then, I've been getting a wave of hate messages, and it hurts more than I can describe because it couldn't be further from the truth. I care about my clients and my work. I take each commission seriously and put my all into each one. I know this wasn't communicated perfectly, and I'll work on that too. I know lots of them will get the chance to get involved for attention and be a victim of this mess, but none thinking of the artist behind it. I'm kindly asking to forgive my mistake. Big thanks to those who know me and have been supportive through this. And to anyone who's feeling disappointed or hurt, please know that I'm doing my best to make it right. This has been a big learning moment, and I'll be updating my workflow to ensure this kind of thing never happens again. And people are leaving their comments. Wisteria writes, you just need to make sure to keep updating and talking to your clients, Mimi. Then I'm sure they'd understand. Also, maybe give yourself more time. Like write a TOS where it states your commissions take 4 to 8 weeks. It gives you time in case something bad happens. Mimi responds, I really appreciate it, Wisteria-chan. All this drama should be a good lesson for me and a bunch of people. I never meant to be the bad person though, but the lack of conversations made me look as somebody I don't want to be. Queenwucy writes, the one thing I don't get that this is a recurring thing that happens. Even before October, you had comms in the middle of the year that had the same excuse when you don't contact people. Not only that, you tried to lie about me not giving you money for a comm I never even commissioned. It's more on how you keep trying to justify yourself when there's literally proof of you not trying to reach out. As a client to many artists, I can say for sure I barely experience what you do to other clients. It's not right and you really need to reflect. And the cookie writes, wait, you paid for a comm you never commissioned? That's so shitty. And Queenwucy adds a clarification, writing, no, I mean they said I didn't pay. But the thing is, I never commissioned them. More about it is here. And they quote retweeted a tweet that they made on November 13th. Remember the thread from Sakura that we read in reply to Mimi's post with Queenwucy allegedly asking for a commission and not paying, which when I first read this, I again was like, oh, okay, this is a little bit interesting. And the artist's history of having a lot of people have bad experiences, I was taking it with a grain of salt, right? I was saying how there seems to be a lot of conversation that is missing because we do get one screenshot here, but there is an arrow that again points down to indicate there's more of the conversation that we can't see. Queenwucy replies to Saku's tweet, writing, you know the craziest thing about this? I never freaking commissioned them. This was back when they had one art exam example on their Twitter and I asked them, hey, can I see more examples? I thought it was out of kindness, but she voluntarily drew my character with a little color. At first I didn't think of it, but now that I look back, she was pushy to get me to commission her. I asked questions like, how well do you cut, or are you capable of certain toggles? These are things that you would ask in reference to making a VTuber model, by the way. Queen continues, she continued to draw when I didn't ask or wanted it yet. I just wanted details like I do with all artists I'm curious with. Then in the end, she was pushing me to calm and then I ended up not. And she ended the DMs on good terms. She didn't ask or anything, and if she did, I would have since she did these sketches. But at the time, I thought she just did it to be nice. Now to everything, she's trying to use this saying, I never paid them, I never commissioned them. EP Nemi writes, this is why I get scared of people making me gift art because I always feel like I owe them. Or they're gonna come back later and act like I'm a villain or something because I didn't give something in return. And Queenwucy writes, honestly, I try to accept people's kindness because I know I would want to be treated that way too if I ever give a gift. But yeah, it happens and makes trusting small things like that hard. And that is very interesting. Other people are showing their sympathies to the artist while also trying to hold them accountable. Saku writes, just as I mentioned to you personally, I want to believe that you are a kind person and don't mean harm. I don't want to see negative in you or anyone, but I've gotten so many DMs and comments talking about how they've commissioned you and haven't received a single update. Here's my thing at the end of the day, right? Like I mentioned prior, it absolutely sucks that there is a scenario where you're working on commissions, etc., and then your hard drive yeets. This absolutely sucks. Like, I truly don't want to believe that Mimi came out here and was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go and scam a whole bunch of people out of money, you know? That's a very negative way to view things or people in general, and it's a very black and white situation, right? So again, if you're working on comms, your hard drive that like yeets your files or something bugs out and you lost all of your progress, it would feel absolutely horrible. You're probably gonna be in a really big schlump of a state with art block and really not motivated to do work again. The biggest thing again is communication, and that's the most important thing that is missing here. I want to be sympathetic because in Mimi's bio, they do list that they have ADHD. I also have ADHD, and a big thing is when you have ADHD, it's really hard to keep track of things. It's really hard to make sure that, you know, you're staying on track. I often lose things and forget things all the time, but it's not an excuse at the end of the day, right? This is something that's just a part of you and that you have to work with. Like, I know that I have ADHD, and as a result, I have practices that I put in place to try to make sure I stay on top of all my stuff. When I worked a full-time job, I would again have practices put in place to make sure I am staying doubly on top of my work. I'm trying not to use my ADHD as a scapegoat for things that happen, because at the end of the day, it's my problem to deal with, not my clients, not my employer's problem, right? And the biggest thing is just the communication, and the lack of communication was an issue even before the hard drive. So again, I really do want to be sympathetic, but it really seems like a case where this artist is taking on way more commissions than they're able to handle, and as a result, they're just dropping the ball on communication, and they also have communication issues. Because again, a lot of this would be solved with communication, right? If you have a big client that you're focusing on, that's totally fine. Just tell the other people that commissioned you, hey, by the way, like, if you do want to commission me for August something, or if you want to commission me to make you this piece in September, right? Just note that I'm working on this big ticket work and I won't be able to start your work for another 2 weeks. If that's okay with you, then let's move on. But don't tell people, hey, I'm working on your sketch right now, and then not send any response or update for weeks after that. That is where the issue lies. And again, I don't think Mimi is inherently malicious with this. It's just a bit unprofessional, the level of communication and stuff they have when they're receiving money from services that they're not delivering. I mean, so to conclude this, it really sounds like this was a lesson for Mimi that they have learned from. I hope they can be better. And regarding the people that didn't receive artwork from them, fingers crossed in the future it could be delivered and the wrongs could be righted. In Snowy's case, I'm really glad that they liked what they received at the end and that they ended up getting their commission. The same couldn't be said for other people, but I'm glad Snowy was able to get it. They're looking to get a 2.0 design for their model, so I wish them best of luck for that. Again, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like to subscribe. I hope you guys like my VTuber model, which again, I use when I don't have my makeup but I need to film additional stuff to the videos, and I do stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch you guys there or in another one of my videos.